Hello and welcome to another video. I think I'm going to do these incidents of the week at the end of each week, possibly release the video on a Monday if I can, and just showing the incidents that I've been involved in, I've noticed in races I've been in, you know, and maybe some of the races that were a bit more boring or not worth making a video out, or forgot to record or didn't record, or for whatever reason, but that I saved the replays of. You know, go through a few of the incidents that have happened and get your guys' opinions on who's at fault, whether the driving's clean, whether the driving's just bad driving, whether it's dirty driving, deliberate, you know, punting people off, whatever it may be. And maybe any other incidents, maybe if there's a brilliant overtake that I spot, or there's a strange incident that I spot, maybe with the ghosting system or anything like that. I'll keep an eye out when I'm doing races and watching the replays on what incidents I see and try and get a few incidents of the week. So here's the first instalment. I hope you like it. Let's get on with the video and look at a few of the incidents that have happened. Right, so this incident we're going to look at here happened on my main account near the start of the race, and just a case of car with better brakes and not being aware that not all cars have the best brakes, so some people are going to be braking earlier than you, and you need to be aware of that. But also I think he outbrakes himself anyway. Don't think it's deliberate, but as you'll see here, we run it through, come round this corner, he's a fair way behind me, and you can see I'm on the brakes there, he's on the brakes well later than I am, into the back of me. Should be alright, but just that curb is horrible. You get on that curb, get your foot down too early, and it's so easy to then spin the car. And unfortunately in this one for me, that was race over, and really didn't really do much else after the race, so it was very unfortunate that happened. But I don't necessarily think that was dirty. I think that's just poor awareness, really, that you need to be aware, especially early on in the race. If you're in one of the cars with good brakes, really you can't be trying to outbrake someone unless you're alongside them, because you're just going to run into the back of them. And he's lucky this time, he escapes without a penalty, but a lot of the time, especially with the penalty system now, he's going to be getting a 1-2 second penalty for that incident. He could be ruining the driver's race that he hits, even if it wasn't me, and you could be ruining your own race by getting that penalty as well. So just think that just needs a bit more awareness, really, and wonder what you guys think, but we'll move on to the next one. Right, this incident we're going to look at here is from my second account, an incident I was involved in. So we'll just play it through first to obviously show what happened. So it's me going for the overtake on this Italian into the final bend. So got a bit of oversteer using the Supra GR here, and obviously he gets the run on me because of that bit of oversteer. So he comes back past. So here we're going to switch it to the inside, and he doesn't defend it. So fully alongside, fully past, and there the classic case of turning, which slows me down because in order not to spin I have to come on, and then he gives me the second hit, but there was then another hit from behind. So we'll go back and have a look at that from his point of view. So here we are on board with him. So he's got back past me here. You see I slot back in behind, and here he should go fully to the left to defend it and doesn't. Gives me the inside, I outbrake him. I've got on the apex, he turns in, hits me, which causes me to slow, and that hit there is something that I think, because these lobbies that I'm in on my second account are lower rated lobbies, and I do generally not set a qualifying time and start from the back, so these sorts of incidents I think happen a bit more. Let's see if we can see it from further behind from this Mercedes point of view. And this is just poor aware. I don't think he's tried to hit me, but once he's hit me, he's caused me to slow down. The second hit then is just very, very poor driving in my opinion, the second hit, because if you watch here, once he's tapped me once, I'm always going to be slower, so he's going to have to slow down more, because I've had to slow to not spin the car from his first hit, and then he just taps me around on the second one. So love to know your guys' opinion of this. I don't think it's maybe dirty. I did at the time when I was racing, but from the replay, I just think it's poor driving, really, not really knowing how to drive. So we'll move on to the next one. Right, so this incident we're going to look at here, this happened in on my main account, a race I was in on my main account. As you can see, I was much further near the back in this race from the start. This is still the first lap, and it's just an incident I spotted with these three cars at the front, clearly battling hard right at the start of the race. And I'd like to know as I said, I think poor driving from, the Portuguese guy. It was the Aston Martin, but probably not the cleverest of driving from Legion 21K here, the Brit. So wonder your guys' opinion. We'll just run it through first and have a look. So as you can see the battling away here, all very close to each other. And here Legion 21K gets a good run here compared to the two in front fighting. Goes to the inside, which I think, if you look at that, 100% Portuguese, bad driving. Could even argue Italian, bad driving, pulling across, cutting the door on. But if you look at it deeper, in my opinion, you've got to look as Legion 21K here. Really, what is going to happen in front in that situation? You've got the better run out the corner, as you can see here from his point of view. He's got the better run out the corner. Is he better to... Now he realises he's catching him. He's off slightly. Once this kink is coming, they're always going to... A lot of drivers are not going to give you the space on that kink. And I don't think he's done anything wrong there. I think it's... He's got the better run out the corner. He should be given the space once he pulls out and once his nose is in. But he's put his nose in a position that I think a lot of people aren't going to give him space, even though they should. So maybe the better option had been ease off earlier, get back on the accelerator, so you've still got the run, get to the inside, and he could have probably had a double pass past the two of these drivers into this bend, into this corner at the end of the straight. But this Aston Martin does get a penalty for it. But if we look from his point of view, is it classic case of no radar, or see those two, they're fighting too much in front? Yeah, and see, it is only just the nose that's in, and he's also getting pushed across by the car in front slightly. So, you know, I wonder your guys' opinion on that, because I do think, well, he's in the wrong. He's pulled across on the car and shoved him into the inside, but the Brit here, had he not done that and stuck his nose in, he could have possibly had the run down into this corner and overtook both of them into this corner. So I think maybe he could be a bit smarter with his driving, but I wonder your guys' opinion on that one. Right, this incident here that we're going to look at, this was on my main account as well. As you can see, I'm in third place here, and this is the driver that were on board with the German Fürth, I'm not sure how you say that, in 5th place. And I just think this is poor driving, really. It's not... I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that it's not dirty, but he's trying to take advantage of... If you look, me in the car in front battling a bit, I defend that to make sure he doesn't go down the inside. He sort of goes around the outside, so we both have to slow, and then he just chucks it up the inside of both, even though there's going to be door-to-door contact. Pushes us both wide, gets himself a deserved 1 second penalty, in my opinion. And unfortunately for Orange Michael here, he came off the worst from the incident. But as you'll see from his point of view, it looks like obviously I've hit into him, but I haven't. I've took that contact, and I think that's just needing to be more aware of your driving, really. And yes, the two cars in front are slower because they're battling, and you want to take advantage of that, but you've got to take advantage of that in the right places. You can't just say, oh, there's half a gap, shove your car in it, push people wide, and, you know, and quite rightly, he gets the penalty for it, in my opinion. So we'll move on to the next one. Right, and this incident isn't really an incident as such. It is eventually an incident, but I just feel it's fair to show this, because I think this shows that this German in front, this is just after the S section from the incident we've just had, and I feel that this shows that this German driver is not a dirty driver. He's just gone for a move that he shouldn't really go for, not being aware, just not very clever racing in my opinion. But as you see here, I've now got the slipstream on him. He stays to the outside, I take the inside line for the overtake, outbrake him, get it on the apex, and if you're lucky delays his turning not to hit me and gives me plenty of space because he knows I'm there. So I think we deserve to give him benefit of the doubt. You know, he's trying to drive clean, drive fair, but I think he's just made a bit of an ambitious move, bit of a silly move, you know. But then unfortunately for him here, he follows me through, and some people will say this is karma for that incident, but unfortunately there we go. Classic, taken out by the def chicane, and me and the other driver that he made contact with earlier both end up in front of him. So I thought that was one worth showing. As I said, bit of karma maybe, but also I don't think he's driving dirty personally, you know, because a dirty driver would have just turned in on me and took me out then, you know, especially knowing that I was the person that he'd made contact with, you know, 3 corners before. So, you know, shout out to that German there that, you know, maybe just needs to be a bit more aware or pick his opportunities a bit better of when to overtake maybe. And, you know, that's all I think. Wonder what you guys think, but I thought it's worth showing that as well. So let's move on to the next one. Right, so this incident here is in a B-rated lobby, I think, because this is on my main account. So between 2 Spaniards, and I think this is maybe worth showing in some respects, just because I think on this game sometimes Spanish drivers get a lot of stick for being the dirty drivers and stuff like that. And I think some of the incidents are involved in are not dirty, they're just accidental. And I do think there's something both drivers could do here possibly to resolve the situation. It's right at the start of the race. This is the starting point, just been released. So sometimes you've got to be a bit clever at the start, maybe bide your time a bit for better opportunities, but we'll just watch it through. So as you see here, the Merc's obviously got the slipstream on the GTR here, and it goes to block the inside, but fair dues, the GTR realises the Merc's alongside and pulls out, but then he clips the back of the Merc there and spins him round. So if we just go back and look at this again from the Merc's point of view, just one thing I want to point out: if you watch for the guy's brake lights or the brake indicator, the guy in the Merc lifts off the brakes. So here, he's braking fully and he comes fully off the brakes just for a split second, and I just think there maybe if he stays on the brakes there, I think there's a chance he parks it on the apex a bit better, doesn't give the cutback opportunity to the GTR, which from this point of view is what it looks like the GTR's going for the cutback. And in going for the cutback, he's misjudged it, clipped the back of the Merc, spun the Merc round. So if we now go back again and we switch to the GTR's point of view in this situation, if you watch here, obviously he must see the car behind, must have his radar on, he goes to defend it, which he does. The Merc still sticks his nose in, which I think from that on board, I think you can see, in my opinion, the GTR has shut the door and the Merc's kind of gone off track to get his nose in, but the GTR has then allowed him the position, moved to the side, so I don't think it's dirty driving. But then if you watch here, he lifts off the brakes early. When you got a car on the inside, yes, you might want to lift off the brakes to get it through the apex and get your turning better, but unfortunately with the car on the inside still braking, you've got to go slower. He's trying to take this corner at the same speed he normally would, in my opinion, rather than slowing it down, letting the car in front past. And as you can see there, maybe going for the cutback, but misjudges it, and if he'd braked a bit more, kept on the brakes, I think if you watch that in full speed, if he keeps on the brakes a bit more, he may get that cutback, get around the outside of the next corner and keep the position. But you never know. So we're watching full speed for you from the GTR's point of view. He brakes, so he comes off the brakes, doesn't get enough turning, clips the back of the Merc, but then if you watch this, gets a 4-second penalty, yet as you can see, he does wait. I know it's another Spaniard he's waiting for, but I just think the Spaniards on this game sometimes get undeserved stick, sometimes they get stick correctly, you know, but there's dirty drivers from every country, and I just think here he's just shown he's not done that deliberately, totally accidental. He's got a 4-second penalty for it, so really in my opinion he's got the penalty for it. There's no need for him to wait there really, because he's got the penalty, he's getting the punishment for it anyway, yet he still waits for the other driver to pass him first and then goes and serves his penalty and basically ruins his own race. So, you know, I think that deserves a mention really. So we'll move on to the next one now. Right, so this incident I'm going to look at here involving me on my second account again. And this here's where typical chicane of death situation. 2 cars in front, and I'm definitely quicker than him, and this is just the exact reason why no matter what, how slow the cars are in front, you cannot go for an overtake into the chicane of death, before the chicane of death, even leading up to the chicane of death. You just need to stick behind and get through it clean and hope you get the run out and pass them on the exit is always the better way. And I made the mistake of these cars in front making a mistake, and I went for the overtake because of the errors, and as you'll see, I was the one that come off worst of the 3 drivers. So let's just have a look at this here. Yeah, they're coming through. The Beetle gets a bit out of sorts there. McLaren brakes way too early, goes wide, and see, I get hooked on the wall, can't get it going again. Luckily keep it facing the right way, but I come off worse. If you look here, I slow down, but I take advantage of the McLaren doing that. The Beetle lifting the wall, try to avoid him, I get squeezed into the wall, and as I said, my own fault there in my opinion. As I said, exact reason why death chicane, never overtake there, and you look how many places I've lost. So when the race is on again, that's one to look out for. You just let the cars in front do the thing, slow yourself down and just pass them on the exit is always the best way. Right, so we'll move on to the next one now. Right, so here's another incident. This was from a race I did in a lower lobby on my second account, but this is not involving me. This is 3 cars that were up near the front that I spotted incident go on with. So we're going to take a look at this because I think this is a classic lower lobby incident really, you know, not necessarily dirty driving, but just not being aware of the situation. So you can see they're all having a good battle here. McLaren in front weaving to get the drivers behind out the slipstream. This Merc comes past the BMW. Everyone gets through the chicane, no problem. Slight little tap there, but nothing much. The McLaren gets a bad exit and the Mercedes goes. And once you get to about here, really, I think in that situation, once you start getting close like that, as the car behind, unless you really think you've got the run and you think the guy in front is definitely going to slow and give you space, you're better off just to back out of it, stay behind him, take the corner fast and overtake him. But here, the Portuguese, Miguel, clearly has not give the space. He's going straight for the apex, but the Merc's on the inside. They're both still flat out as far as I can tell. Maybe a lift, but no real slowing down from either of them. Side by side, it's only going to end one way, and yet there we go, ends with both of them off the track. And really there, I think in a higher lobby, the Merc probably pulls out of that overtake, but he is well alongside, and I think maybe the Portuguese guy needs to realise and he should possibly also pull out of it and just slow and let the Merc go and take the position behind him. But instead, both of them end up ruining each other's race. So, you know, I think really just a bit more thought about the overtake, and that would have ended up with both round the corner, swapping positions, no problem, through the next corner, and they could have continued racing. Right, that's the end of the video, guys. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'd love to know your feedback and opinion on some of those incidents and ways I can maybe improve my videos. So feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you've liked it, please feel free to watch any previous videos I've posted, and please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll bring you some more videos in the future. I'll see you next time.